Hey everybody, in today's video we're giving you a dividend haul for the month of October. I hope each and every one of you had a fantastic month filled with passive income payouts. For those of you that are new to the channel, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Wayne. A little background about myself. A few years ago, I was able to cross that coveted retirement finish line. Not bad for a young, spry guy at the age of 42. I promise you though, it's not a flex. A real flex would have been if I had been saving more money and investing. So having gone back to work full time today, I am investing 100% of my yearly pension, which is right around $106,000. And the goal for me today is to build out generational wealth for my family, specifically my two young teenage kids. So let's go ahead and talk about all the dividend income that we received. On a monthly basis, I feature dividend hauls from two portfolios. That's going to be Robinhood and M1, and we're going to kick things off with M1. On October 3rd, I received $14.13 from VDE. $42.14 I received from JetQ. $41.50 I received from Vici Properties. $9.80 I received from MO Altria Group. Now this is interesting because I have slowly begun to build up my position in Altria, but I am not doing it within M1. In fact, I am daily cost averaging on my Altria position, but I'm doing so in Robinhood. So you can expect to see a dividend for Altria in both M1 as well as Robinhood. ADC is another position that I have also begun daily cost averaging in the Robinhood side of things. And so expect to see a dividend payout both in M1 as well as Robinhood when it comes to ADC. Main Street Capital, you'll see here, there's an 11 cents dividend. This is going to be tied here to the lower dividend. I call it the Big Brother for $24.21. I've been long on Main for several years now. And in fact, a few months ago, I put out a video that was titled My Favorite Monthly Dividend Payers. Not only was Main amongst those three, but also, coincidentally, the next dividend from O Realty Income, paying me out $68.25. Now, I've talked about this in the past. Boy, one of the frustrating things about M1 is it just does not give you, the consumer, enough interface or enough information regarding what that value of $68.25 is based on regarding the amount of shares that I'm holding. So let me go ahead and open up a new tab here, and I am a subscriber to track your dividends. I think it's no more than $99 on a yearly basis. And I'm able to link up multiple brokerages, although let me just caution you, this number in the upper left-hand corner for an $817,000, I promise you that is not the correct number. So I think Track Your Dividends is accounting for the margin that I have available in my Robinhood account. But look at here, I own 514 shares. That's in total in these shares between both of my brokerage accounts, M1 and Robinhood. Now my cost basis on this is a little bit disappointing. I've talked about this in the past. I wish I had not gone all in when shares of O got below $60. I was so excited. And in reality, they subsequently went down below $50. But nonetheless, O is one of those stocks where even if you're currently upside down, you are bag holding. I think everybody, to include myself, you're relatively confident about the long-term holding status. And in my case, I'm very comfortable, and it is generating me $1,580 on an annual basis. And I am currently, on the Robinhood side, reinvesting all of my dividends. Moving on to Stag, paid me out $51.88. And I love Stag. It's done well both in the dividend consistency on a monthly basis as well as moderate share price appreciation. Starwood Properties paying me out $7.91. WP Carey, this will be the last time that you see a dividend payout from WPC Carey. I had a very small position in WPC, and ultimately that was one of the reasons I decided to sell out. I could take that small amount of money and focus on stocks that I'm more confident in. So if you're holding WP Carey, you'll have to let me know down in the comments. What do you think about WPC's performance and moves they've made in the past year? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Horizon Technology, another monthly payer, paying me out $73.37. Tesla, this is going to be the Yield Max monthly ETF pair based on the Tesla stock, paying me out $59.42. One of the things that I'm willing to admit as I begin my relatively new investing journey is I am willing to experiment with the new kid on the block. And in this case, the new fund on the block was Tesla. But ultimately, I did make a decision to sell out of my Tesla position. It's not to say that I have a problem with all of the yield max funds, but in my opinion, Tesla this past year has been so volatile that I really think holding Tesla in the long run is not going to benefit me, even though it was paying out some juicy distributions. So this $59.42, this is the last payment that you will see from Tesla. Now, truth be told, if Tesla were to go down, let's say to the $8 or the $9 per share range, I might be tempted to jump back in. But ultimately, I did sell out of Tesla at a slight loss. But I came out overall on top because of all the dividends / distributions that I did receive these past few months. CubeSmart paying me out $4.90. This is also the last time that you will see a dividend payout from CubeSmart. Again, nothing against the company, but ultimately, because my investment in Cube was so insignificant, so small, I decided to take that little bit of money and invest it elsewhere in my overall portfolio. Here is the little brother dividend payment of Horizon for 6 cents. Acre, which is Ares Commercial Real Estate, paying me out $33.99. Devo, which is a monthly ETF covered call payer, just paid me out $5, and I recently increased the number of shares that I hold in Devo. I would like to increase my overall position in 2024 as well. BST, you guys are picking up on a theme here. Another monthly payer, $40.11 this month. CEQP paying me out 47 cents. Glad paying me out $17.60. That's also a monthly pair. And if I'm not mistaken, the little brother of CEQP that I just listed, we're going to go ahead and pair this up with the big brother of $96.94. So there is all the dividends that I received from M1. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Did you have any similar payouts from any of the companies that I just rattled off from my M1? If you did, I'd love to hear from you. Let's go ahead and pivot over to my Robinhood to give you the remaining dividend payouts for the month of October. Okay, things for me kicked off in Robinhood on October 3rd, in which I received $37.34 from Clip. KLIP, that's the stock ticker. And essentially, it's an international, specifically China, covered call strategy ETF. This will be the last time you also see a distribution payout from Clip for me. I just ultimately don't know enough about the fund. And again, I'm willing to admit when I will experiment or I will yield chase. But one thing that I ultimately do is keep my long-term goals in mind. And I can tell you right now, Clip for me just didn't ultimately align with that. But I did have a good run. I did sell at a Clip at a slight loss, but I think I overall broke even or just came out a little bit on top based on the monthly distributions that I did receive. Now, Best Buy paid me out 99 cents, and you might be wondering, why would I hold on to just the one share in which they're paying out 92 cents per share? You know, ultimately, I have been thinking about getting back into Best Buy. I really made a decent amount of money selling covered calls against my 100 shares, but ultimately those 100 shares were called away. And so I'd like to see, as we approach earnings in the upcoming month, if I can get back into Best Buy at a better share price and ultimately sell some covered calls. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, I keep that one share kind of like as a placeholder to remind me what I paid originally when I owned 100 shares. I mentioned this before, Altria, I am currently daily cost averaging. And in the Robinhood side of things, I earned $5.70 for the 5.88 shares. Let's go ahead and go back to track your dividend. You see, because I have been daily cost averaging $20 every single day, Monday through Friday, I have now gone up to 42 shares, and I have a pretty decent cost basis of $41.75. So I've been real excited to grab some shares of MO as it continues to hover around that $40, give or take, coveted line, if you will. Taking a look here, I also mentioned before that realty income is also going to be held not only in my M1 but as well as Robinhood. Pretty cool to think that I was paid out $51.52. If you guys have been following the price of O, that pretty much means on a monthly basis I'm buying at least one share of O Realty income unless we see a significant increase, which I'm hoping to also see here in 2024. Main Street Capital, I also hold them in M1. On the Robinhood side, they paid me out $2.35. IIPR, yeah, this was a REIT that I ultimately just recently let go. I took a significant loss on this, so luckily my overall position was very small. I only had about 2 shares. So this is the last dividend that you're going to see from IIPR. Ultimately, I do like to just hold on and not necessarily incur a loss. But I kind of said to myself, you know what? The position is so small. It's really insignificant for the amount of time that I'd have to wait to recover in share price. So I made the cut. Here are a few other Yield Max funds. I'll go ahead and break it down for you. In the Yield Max fund, Apply, which is APLY, obviously based on Apple stock, they paid me out $47.79 for the 100 shares that I currently own. You can see here when I switch back over to track your dividends, I still own my 100 shares of Apply. I am currently not reinvesting those distributions though, and my average cost per share is $21.75. Right now, the current share price of Yield Max's Apply is around $19. And so I'm down a fairly good amount. This is why I'll tell you though, I was down a lot more in Tesla. The one nice thing about the Apple stock is it's not as volatile as Tesla. And so I think that's the biggest problem that I had with some of these Yield Max funds. If they're based on a very volatile stock, I'm inclined to maybe not invest as much. With Apple, I have a different mindset, so I'm pretty comfortable even though that I'm down slightly. I'm still making those pretty significant monthly distribution payouts. I have also held on to my AMZY position, hoping to see if an increase, a slow and steady increase, comes out from the underlier it's based on, which of course is Amazon. Moving on to the next Yield Max distribution payout, $33.48 from OARK, O-A-R-K. Now this is one that I sold out of. Again, I don't have a problem with all of the Yield Max funds, but ultimately when I began to do more research on OARK, it just wasn't the right Yield Max fund for me, so I did sell out of that. So this $33 is the last distribution that you'll see from OARK. SPHD paying me out $17.74. This is also a monthly payer as well. Now, SFAL, I currently received $90 for the month of October. That was based on 300 shares. Let's go back over here to track your dividends and take a look at my total amount as well as my cost basis. And you can see I've been doing relatively good on this monthly payer. Now, my cost basis for those 300 shares is $22.86. So yes, I am down ever so slightly, but ultimately those monthly distributions have left me feeling rather comfortable. I do imagine that I will be holding on to SFAL for the foreseeable future. LTC Properties paying me out $19. This is also a monthly payer. And I think what happened with Clip here, because you're seeing it now twice for the month of October, for whatever reason, Robinhood did not note the September payout until the very first few days of October. So this is technically the last payment for the month of October. And as I mentioned, I have since sold out. So there you have it. Those are all of the dividend payments that I received. In fact, I received a total of 31 dividends in the month of October. Let's go ahead and first take a look at the passive income that I made in October of 2022. As you guys know, the goal is always to beat the previous year, and I certainly feel confident that we did that. Let's go ahead and scroll over to the other page of my spreadsheet, and here you have it. The total in the month of October for those 31 total payments was $952.87. If we go ahead and enter that number here for October, that means that my monthly average sits just below $1,250 a month. Why is that $1,250 an important number? If I can reach $1,250 on an average monthly basis of passive income, that means I will certainly reach my $15,000 a year in passive income goal that I set earlier in the year. So I'm certainly getting closer and closer. Taking a look here, if we compare October of 2022 to this year, this is a 198% 100% increase. I could not be more ecstatic. So although October of 2023 did not break any records for this year, we certainly shattered what I earned last year. So as you guys can tell, I'm really excited about this passive income. I continue to get closer and closer to reaching that final goal of 15K for 2023. What will be the passive income goal that I will set for 2024? You will have to remain tuned in to see what number I'm going to announce as we get closer to the new year. And with that, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you've hit like, make sure you've subscribed. I can't wait to give you guys more updates in the future. But until then, we'll see you on the next one.